Hi, thanks for tuning in. So good to see you. I hope that you are taking advantage and sharing this information with other people in your life that you think would benefit. This channel is really not just about widows. I try to talk about all kinds of grief because I have been dealing with all kinds of grief. Of course, the first and foremost in my life is being a widow and helping you navigate through that. So I hope that by watching the channel, one of the things that you learn is that as time moves on, you will heal if you continue to move forward with the grief. So you're kind of learning how to carry the grief with you. It's not going to go away. It was still right there. But hopefully you're learning how to carry it with you. And by now, you know, excuse me, life continues just to keep trekking right on. So in that, you know, I keep talking about the various people that I know and love in my life who have passed away. And it is a heaviness to bear sometimes when you learn of another person. I don't know if some of that has to do with like we are bombarded with social media. We hear of people dying all the time. And I don't know that our brains are really meant to effectively handle this. I don't know. I mean, you have to process it. So I say that to say I lost another person in my life this past week who was very dear to my heart. And although we hadn't seen each other for maybe 10 years, no, it's probably been less than that, maybe 9 years, 8 years ago now, we had kept in touch sporadically, you know, through social media. And she transitioned to the Lord now. She's there with him. So it's hard. And you can thank God that you have good memories, and then you can lean on those rather to get you through the sadness. So anyway, that being said, the reason I'm telling you about these missions trips is because it's part of my story, which then I'm going to connect that with Bob's and my story. And through our story, we tell of his story, right? So I have to tell you his story, our history, to get to where I'm going. So bear with me. So, okay, back to missions, right? So we talked about going on local. I told you so far about a couple of the trips that I went on internationally. And I want to talk to you about the third international trip that I went on, and that was to Belize. Fun, seriously ridiculous fact. When I signed up for Belize, I really thought I signed up for Brazil. I had to check those boxes really quickly and I had to meet the deadline. And I remember I went to the first meeting and I was like, wait, where are we going? Oh, okay. So my heart was, wherever you want me to go, Lord. I just want to do what you want me to do, and I want to help your people and just experience the love of Jesus through whomever he put in my path. So that being said, I went to Belize just after my grandpa died. He passed away early December of 91, I believe. Yeah. And I went to Belize just weeks after he died. And he used to call me his world traveler. And I really miss him. And I have really been missing my grandparents a lot lately. I think mainly because there's just so much that has happened, and you just realize how much you haven't gotten to tell them, but how excited they'd be. And I do believe he's in the great cloud of witness cheering me on. I don't know what all they can see. I have no idea. I'm not on that side. But I am grateful for the parents I had, and my parents that came through them. So anyway, back to the task. So Belize. I went to Belize and we were there for New Year's Eve. That's how I kind of pinpoint that trip. And that was a much different type of trip than I had been on before. Remember earlier it was like painting and or working with the kids. And this one was an actual work, laborious, hard trip, in my opinion. We stayed at a triple, no, that triple C school was at Cayman Islands. We stayed at a Seventh-day Adventist hospital on this trip. And, the Seventh-day Adventists don't eat meat. And we used to tease because we were hungry, and we couldn't wait for lunch. And when we got to lunch, the ladies that worked at that hospital would have packed us bread, lettuce, onion, tomato sandwiches. So we called them blots. And anyway, when you're really hungry, a blot is good. But anyway, so we did stay in that hospital, and it's not a hospital like we think hospital in the States. It was a building, but like no screens in the windows. We slept on old mattresses on the floor. The showers were, like a water hose coming out of the wall in the bathroom, and it was ice cold water. But let me tell you, it felt great because we were so hot, and it was clean, and it was just a nice way to freshen up. And I think it's important for as many people as possible to experience what it's like for a lot of the world, and help if you can. And what does that help mean? What is that help? That would be between you and the Lord. So more on that another time. But the Belize trip. So as I mentioned, no screens in the windows. So that meant a lot of bug bites. So on one leg, I remember counting 150 mosquito bites. That part was hard for me. And so our mission was to help this village put in a water system. And we were the first team that was being organized to go and help with that. So we stayed at that hospital. We were a small group of about 7, piled into the back of this old Datsun pickup truck. We would drive a couple of hours, get dropped off on all these rocks, and then made a pretty long trek to where we needed to be, and seemingly in the middle of nowhere. And that village, Roaring River Village, they were using that water for everything, their river, for bathing and drinking and cooking and swimming and bathroom and everything. So up a mountain was a fresh spring. And so our team was going to help dig the trenches, and put pebbles in there to help with the water filtration. So I just remember being in the middle of this river one time, and I was like, Lord, what an odd place that you have me here. Here I am picking up pebbles from this water and filling them in burlap bags. Is that really helping? But I have to believe, surely to goodness it was. And I grew closer to the Lord during that time, and closer to my brothers and sisters in Christ during that time. And looking back, it was probably so needed after the significant loss of my grandpa, just at that right time. So at any rate, that's what I would do. I was picking up these pebbles, filling up burlap bags, putting them on a donkey or horse, and then sending those animals up the mountain. And then they were getting them out of the bags, putting them in the trenches, sending them back down so we could fill that back up. So it just was an amazing experience. And it was a small group. I think we only had about 7. And Paul, I can't think of his last name, but he was a great leader. And You know, a lot of times the spiritual growth of the group that you're in will be indicative of the spiritual level of your leader. And he was a great leader, and we called him our gentle shepherd because he led quietly, um, and he led well. And so, one of my favorite memories of my life was on that trip. I have a couple really, but one that I'm going to share here is I was on that trip and we were hiking back one day, I think. And yeah, because one of our members had actually had a thorn stuck in her hand and it had kind of numbed throughout the day. And we didn't get it out till later that night. But we found this cave that we stood in and we sang together. I believe it is well. It is well with my soul. And the sound of that, of our voices united together, singing that song to God in the middle of nowhere to us, but it was very significant. So anyway, that was that trip to Belize. And like I said, we spent New Year's Eve there, and this trip was over Christmas break from school. And so, yeah, that was a great trip, and I've always been thankful. We were, to give you an example of how tired we were, when we'd come back from working the day and we'd wait at this like big bed of rocks, waiting on our ride to pick us up. We were so tired, we all would lay down on those rocks and go to sleep for a little bit. Imagine that. That is a lot. So anyway, what good memories. What good memories. And life truly is an adventure when you follow the Lord. So with that being said, friends, that's my gift for you today. Be encouraged.